Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, in a small cottage on the edge of a vast and shadowed forest, there lived a humble woodcutter with his two beloved children, Hansel and Gretel. His wife, their stepmother, was a woman of stern disposition, ever burdened by the yoke of poverty. As time wore on, misfortune struck, and the land grew barren, casting a heavy gloom over the household. With scarcely enough bread to sustain themselves, the stepmother whispered cruel counsel into the woodcutter's weary ears. "There is no hope for us," she murmured darkly. "We must take the children deep into the forest and leave them there, for if we do not, we shall all perish together." The woodcutter, though stricken with grief, was weak of heart and, after much persuasion, agreed to the wicked plan. But Hansel, a boy of keen wit, overheard their whispers in the dead of night. Comforting his sister, he devised a plan, slipping out beneath the moon's silver glow to gather small white pebbles, filling his pockets with them before returning to bed. At the break of dawn, the stepmother roused the children, giving them each but a crust of bread before leading them into the heart of the great forest. As they ventured forth, Hansel, with careful discretion, let fall the small white stones from his pocket, one by one, marking the path of their journey. When at last the cruel woman led them to a lonely glade, she bade them rest beneath an ancient tree, promising to return for them once their father had gathered sufficient wood. Yet, as the hours waned and the sun dipped below the horizon, no footsteps came, and they knew they had been abandoned. But Hansel smiled reassuringly at his weeping sister. "Fear not, dear Gretel. The moon shall be our guide." And as night unfolded its velvet shroud, the gentle beams of the moon illumined the stones, shining like stars upon the forest floor. Hand in hand, the siblings followed their gleaming path homeward, where their father embraced them with joy. Yet, the stepmother scowled, for her wicked heart had not softened. Scarce had a few days passed when the cruel woman once again poisoned the woodcutter's mind with dread. "The children must be taken deeper still," she insisted, "lest we all perish." That night, Hansel, wise to their scheme, crept to gather pebbles once more, but alas, the doors had been locked, and he could do naught but console his trembling sister. With heavy hearts, they were led into the dense, labyrinthine woods. This time, Hansel, with no stones, let fall the crumbs of bread he carried, hoping they might serve as markers of return. But cruel fate intervened, for the birds of the forest, with their beady eyes and quick talons, devoured the crumbs, leaving no trace of their path. As night fell upon them, despair gripped the children, and exhausted, they curled beneath the towering trees, drifting into a restless slumber. With the rising sun, hunger gnawed at their bellies, and they wandered deeper into the forest, their little feet weary upon the mossy ground. Just as all hope seemed lost, a wondrous sight greeted them, a house, unlike any they had seen before. Its walls were made of gingerbread, its roof adorned with sugared frosting, and its windows glistened like spun sugar. A sweet aroma filled the air, and in their hunger, the children could not resist. Hansel broke a piece from the wall, while Gretel tasted the sugar pane. Just then, the door creaked open, and an old woman, bent with age and leaning upon a gnarled cane, stepped forth. With a smile as twisted as her form, she spoke in a voice honeyed with false kindness. "Come in, little ones. You must be so very tired and hungry." The children, suspecting no ill, entered the house of sweets, where they were greeted with warm milk and soft beds. But as the door clicked shut, the air grew heavy with an unseen darkness. For the old woman was no kindly soul, but a wicked witch who lured children into her sugary snare to feast upon their tender flesh. As dawn broke, her true nature was revealed. With a gnarled hand, she seized Hansel, locking him within a cage. "Fatten up, my boy," she cackled. "Soon, you shall make a fine feast." Gretel, trembling with terror, was forced to serve the wicked hag, her mind racing with thoughts of escape. Each day, the witch would approach Hansel's cage, demanding he extend his finger so she might judge his plumpness. Yet, Hansel, ever cunning, offered a small bone instead, deceiving the old crone, whose eyes were dim with age. At last, impatient with waiting, the witch resolved to eat Hansel, fat or not. She ordered Gretel to stoke the oven, commanding her to climb inside to check if it was hot enough. But Gretel, wise to the trick, feigned ignorance. "I do not know how, dear grandmother. Show me, I beg you." The witch, eager to hasten her feast, leaned into the oven to demonstrate. And in that moment, with all the strength her small arms could muster, Gretel pushed the wicked crone inside and slammed the iron door shut. A terrible shriek filled the air, but soon, silence reigned. Gretel rushed to Hansel's cage, freeing him at last. As they searched the house, they found a chest filled with glittering jewels and gold. Taking all they could carry, they fled from the cursed dwelling, retracing their steps through the woods. After many days, a familiar sight met their eyes, their father's cottage. The woodcutter, now rid of his cruel wife, wept with joy at their return. The children, with their newfound treasure, ensured that never again would hunger darken their door. And so, with hearts light and spirits free, Hansel and Gretel lived in happiness, never forgetting the trials that had tested their wits and courage.